Gaming is and always has been a hobby practiced mostly by men. Particularly in the early days of gaming, it was exceptionally rare to meet a woman whose gaming experiences went beyond The Sims for PC or playing Candy Crush on their phone. There is, of course, nothing wrong with women not being as interested in gaming as men are, just as there's nothing wrong with men not being as interested in baking or sewing or fashion as women are. Furthermore, despite what you may hear, most male gamers don't give a damn if a woman does want to get into gaming. As a matter of fact, many men, including myself, welcome it. There are few cooler things to hear on a first date than the fact that your second date could be spent playing Super Smash Bros. Or Halo. Men love to share a common interest with women. Problems only ever arise when women, more specifically feminists, claim to have an interest in gaming, when, in fact, their actions and rhetoric seem to demonstrate that all they are really interested in is shoehorning their divisive, insidious, and sexist political ideology into our beloved hobby. There have been countless examples of this in recent years, starting with Anita Sarkeesian's painfully ignorant video series about so-called misogyny in gaming. More recently, leaks of the plot for The Last of Us 2 have revealed that a previously apolitical, albeit deeply human story of love, loss, family, and survival has been turned into a story which unceremoniously dispenses with its strong stoic male lead in order to focus on a lesbian love story and even introduces a gender-ambiguous character to boot. Do you think these changes serve to improve player experience? Who exactly do the developers think played the first game and thought, man, I'm really emotionally invested in this game's complex characters and themes which serve to enhance an atmosphere wherein the darkest and most admirable aspects of human nature clash at every turn. But I'd much rather have those characters and themes disposed of in exchange for preachy black and white bullshit storytelling that actively disrespects its core audience. And that's just the thing. Whenever feminism works its way into video games, it seems to intentionally be at the expense of a mostly male player base. We'll see previously strong, complex male characters who were central to the plot and fandom sidelined for no particular reason other than the fact that the designers wanted a female lead, who is invariably a more boring character, lacking complexity and, well, character. Because when your female lead is meant to represent all women, then giving them any flaws would insult the entirety of the female sex, right? That's just the kind of twisted thinking that leads to boring female leads who are unimpeachably moral and skillful in every way. These games and their female protagonists aren't serving the purpose of gaming, providing players with an immersive, fulfilling, and most importantly, fun experience. They are instead primarily focused on sending a message that no one in the gaming community asked for. A message that games are too male-centric and need to be feminized at the cost of the player's actual, enjoyment of the game. And this is exactly what happens when you let a group of people who don't actually care about or even like a particular art form start changing things to their liking. The gaming press should never have given any credence to bogus claims that gamers are all sexist because we like playing games with believable, complex, and yes, often male-centric stories and gameplay elements. There's nothing wrong with a hobby predominantly enjoyed by males being male-centric. To claim otherwise would be like saying the hobby of baking is too feminine, and insisting that baking shows start with the baker firing a machine gun into the air, followed by 15 minutes of uninterrupted hardcore pornography before any actual baking starts. Would these changes make baking more appealing to men? Perhaps. But it would hurt the overall experience of the people who have engaged in that hobby in the first place. Wouldn't that perhaps make them feel disrespected and resentful towards those who are changing their hobby in ways that show a fundamental disregard for its purpose and the culture that surrounds it? You see, there's a simple rule that can be followed whenever it comes to this sort of thing. If someone steps into a hobby with no actual knowledge of it, having never engaged with it previously, and the only thing they seem to contribute are ways they would change it to cater to their needs, it means they don't actually like that hobby. And if someone doesn't even like a hobby, and in fact they actually despise everything that makes it what it is, then why in the world would you listen to their critiques at all? That's exactly what has happened with many cherished gaming franchises, and I for one am not here for it. I want game designers to focus on the fun factor, making games that I enjoy playing and which give me a welcomed break from the onslaught of feminist propaganda and other bullshit that is found in virtually every form of entertainment these days. This is what gamers want. Not to be lectured to, not to be insulted and disrespected for the crime of being male, but to be entertained and given a space of our own, which we will gladly share with any woman who genuinely likes video games and actually wants to contribute in a respectful and positive way. But under no circumstances should we share our most beloved hobby with screeching, vindictive, ignorant feminists who know nothing about gaming and only seek to change it because it contradicts their worldview and doesn't feed into their political agenda. I posit that feminists only ever got involved in gaming to begin with because they hated seeing men have a space of their own, untouched by the corrosive influence of feminism. I want men and genuine female gamers alike to take back that space and flush out those who seek to undermine everything it stood for in the name of smashing the patriarchy. That's not what gaming is about. Gaming is about fun. It's about community. It's about creating a space where people can unapologetically be themselves. It's a space where men can be men. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, in a world that's increasingly critical of men, and even the mere concept of masculinity, it might just be more important than ever.